What's going on, YouTube world? As promised, what I mentioned a couple weeks ago, with my channel reaching either my 100th video upload or 300 plus subscribers, I was going to do a video that I dedicate to all of you, for all the supporters, subscribers that are out there, people that have been following the channel since I started, or even new subscribers that have joined. Thank you all, by the way, for supporting the channel. Means quite a bit to me, being that I was thinking initially this was going to be a very small scale, just something fun for me to do. It was kind of part of a hobby, side ordeal type of thing. I honestly didn't think it was going to reach this level. And granted, it's not YouTube stardom by any means, and millions of views and millions of subscribers by any means, but it's a lot further along than I expected it to be. So again, a big thank you to all of you who has been supporting the channel. Want to do this video dedicated to you guys, just kind of answering some questions I asked for a couple weeks ago, and got a few different varieties thrown in here. So that's what this is for, dedicated to you guys, answering some of your questions, and hopefully we're having some fun along the way. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, first question I've got here is, what shoes do you wear while playing? Well, to be honest with you, general everyday tennis shoes that I end up wearing. I don't have any special shoes. I don't have the dancing shoes or wrestling boots or play barefoot or in socks or anything like that. My typical everyday comfortable sneakers that I just know the feel of inside and out because I wear them every single day all the time. That's typically what I sit down behind the drum kit with. One advantage of having that habit is if I get asked to do a guest sit-in on a band playing or just buddy's drum kit or whatever, I know what my foot's going to do because it's in the same shoe that I'm usually playing on my kit with. So I already know how it's going to move, how it's going to feel, how it's going to function, and it really won't dictate what I can do on somebody else's drum kit or bass drum pedal that's set up a little bit different than mine. It just gives me, I guess, that comfort that makes it kind of universal. No matter where I sit down, what kit I'm doing, that I'm already expecting to know what feel I'm getting with the shoe wear that I'm wearing. So typically, that's what I end up doing. That's what works for me. I know others have their own techniques of how they approach it or what they end up using or not using if they go barefoot. And it comes back to end user. What do you feel comfortable with doing? Stick with it and go with it there. Again, mine is just everyday tennis shoes. So that is what I use. Thank you for the question. Moving on to the next one. I got a hello from Brazil. Real quick, by the way, quite a few people from the Brazil area. So big shout out. I guess you can say this channel was worldwide once it got hit on the internet, but just knowing that I'm getting some questions or comments and responses from all over the world. That's definitely very cool for, again, something that's small in scale as opposed to what others are doing on YouTube. Again, just being a hobby and being for fun. I love the aspect that it's branching all over the world. That just means quite a bit. But anyway, quite a bit, not quite a whit. Getting back to the question, how long have you been playing? Well, I started, I might have answered this in my introduction video, so again, you might have to go back and check my math on this. I want to say it was 4th grade time frame that I started, and that was with a Ludwig Concert Series snare drum, so one of the lower lines from back at that point in time, but yeah, it was like a 70s or 80s Ludwig wood snare drum that had the chrome wrapping over it. It was a great drum for what it was at that point in time, but again, it was a concert series, so it had the taller snare stand so that we could stand up while performing with school bands and whatnot. And I ended up doing that one with lessons for a little while, and then it was probably within a year, maybe going on to 2 years after that, I kind of got bored of just the one drum, and kind of set it aside for a little bit with other things that were going on in my world and in interests and hobbies and stuff. And I kind of got away from drumming for a small bit. And then my older brother ended up taking me to my first concert and seeing Rush in concert. And after seeing the Professor, the great Neil Peart, perform on stage, and just the massive size of his drum kit, what he did throughout the songs and his drum solo and everything combined with that show just blew me away. And that was the deciding factor at that point of, I started down the path, but now I want to continue it with a lot more drums and cymbals and make a lot more noise if possible. So that was kind of how everything started at that point in time. So again, since fourth grade year, again, I'm not going to do the math at the moment, but we'll just say 30 plus years for right now. Thank you for the question. Let's see, what's the next one here? What's going on with the do-rags? I'm guessing that question refers to me wearing the bandana stuff in my videos. Two-part question to it. One, and you go back to a few of my first videos that I've got posted on the channel, you'll see where I forgot to put on a hat or a bandana or a do-rag or whatever. And you'll see after so many years, my existence of hair has disappeared quite extensively on the top area. And the fact that I have an overhead light in this drum room, I didn't want the glare and the sheen to bounce off that and be blinding the camera and blinding all of you. So I tend to put that on partially for that reason. The other reason is it was just something that I started doing years and years ago when I was performing, to where I had a bandana or a do-rag or something that was on just to kind of hold back some of the longer hair, to help with the headset mic that I was wearing at the time to hold things in place. Just experiences on stage, it became just a part of my stage acquire or stage dress at that time. And ever since then, I'm kind of paying homage to it by using it still today. Even though I'm in the drum room at home, I'm not on stage, it still, I guess, kind of mentally puts me in the vibe of preparing to sit down and play and perform and kind of get in the zone. So that kind of plays part of why I typically still continue to wear that, even at home, only while performing and doing these videos and stuff. I don't wear it around the house like washing dishes or doing laundry or something like that and wearing the do-rag. But when I'm sitting down and kind of being in the musical creative mode, that just kind of puts me into that zone. It's a little extra piece, I guess, for me to add on there. Thank you for the question. How do you know when you have the right sound? And it's actually a two-part question here, but we'll go with the first one. Honestly, it's whatever sounds good to you at that moment in time, because it varies from person to person. What sounds good to me might not sound good to the next 10 people, but the 11th, 12th, and 13th person might really enjoy it. 14th person, maybe that's the sound they were looking for that they've been fighting with for so many years. It's much like any music and stuff that's out there. It really comes back to the individual themselves. I guess the best generalized answer I can give on that is if you're not causing any kind of feedback or really awkward noises that you can't eliminate from the recording or the sound that you're trying to produce, and it's not so overpowering and distorted, as long as everything can be clean and distinctive on what you're going for, I think that's definitely the best general basis. And then from there, you do your little tweaks here and there. And I will mention, I'm definitely more of a drummer than I am a sound guy. So me working with my mixer and the different units over here and setting this up for the vocal mic to be talking with you guys. You'll notice each time I do this, it's going to vary a little bit, and because I'm trying different things or I'm trying a different product out or whatever else it may be, something else I may have picked up, because I'm trying to get better and better learning how to do this, but also producing something even better for you guys. And again, just doing it all in turn for fun. And I'm more of a drummer than I am a sound guy, like I mentioned. So for me, I will say the right sound is the one, again, that I'm not causing feedback. It's not distorted, something where you guys can hear me as far as what I'm either conveying with the discussion or what I'm performing on the drum kit. And as long as it's not so overbearing that it's just like making your ears bleed, then to me, that is a good sound at that point. It may not be the best, but it is a good sound. Second part of the question is, how do you change it for the different music. So going back to how do you change the sound for different music? Honestly, it starts with the instrument, or vocal even be a part of the instrument. It starts with the instrument itself. You get that sounding good as far as tuning, yeah, miking and EQing and do whatever you got to do. You get that solid first. Dictating, not really, dictating is not the word I'm looking for. Depending on the genre of music that you're trying to go for, what sound you're going for. Have an end goal in your mind of what you're looking for and what you're trying to achieve out of it. And then from there, you can, between, like drums, for example, depending on how you want to tune your snare, your toms, your kick drum, your different cymbals that you may have. Which one do you want to use versus which ones don't you want to use that may be too overbearing or doesn't have the right tone to fit what you're trying to go with. And make sure things blend and actually complement each other, and don't go from something so drastic to very tinny and light to something that's so hard and heavy it sounds like you're kicking a trash can, hitting a cymbal over on the other side. You definitely want a nice blend throughout the whole thing, and time and experience definitely helps with that, understanding that aspect. But again, it also comes back to somebody who's more experienced in that realm. Again, going back to a sound technician, somebody that works in a studio, somebody that really has a better understanding of frequencies and sound waves and how all that stuff travels, much more than I do. That would be a person that I would recommend asking that question to. But as far as my basic answer, I think it comes down to what type of music are you trying to do. Find something, your instrument wise, that gets you close to that realm, and then try to fine tune and get yourself set up to be able to do something along those lines, and maybe even create your own sound while doing so. Thank you for the questions. Next one. What is your favorite thing about drumming? I will say, from past years when I was performing, my absolute favorite thing would have been the experiences that it helped me achieve. And a majority of that being some of the bigger shows that we played, some of the bands I got a chance to meet and hang out with, share the same stage with. Those were definitely memorable moments that not a lot of people in the world can experience. So and it's not because of that whole I got to do it and nobody else did. It's not that. It's more of what's the word I'm looking for? More of an accomplishment, personal accomplishment of, after all the years and dedication and putting into it, to achieving moments like that it really made it worthwhile with that. Other than that, on stressful days, if I happen to have time to where I can come in here, or the weekend, whenever I have available time to come sit behind the drum kit. But again, even going back to years back while performing, anytime that you were stressed out and you had a chance to sit down at a drum kit, it was an awesome stress reliever, because you can legally beat the heck out of something and you're not going to get in trouble for it. You're not going to get arrested. You're not going to get a ticket. Well, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, your neighbors might call the cops. You might get a ticket that way. So within reason, you can legally beat the heck out of it and not get into trouble. And if you break something, a stick or a drum head, you're talking a few bucks to replace that stuff. If it's a cymbal or something a little bit more extreme, yeah, it's a little bit more money. But again, it's a material item that can be replaced. So stress relief was definitely one of my favorite aspects of drumming. What is your least favorite? Least favorite would probably be nowadays, just due to the way that things are working, wife and kids and household and job and everything, and the responsibilities that go with it. I don't want to take anything away from the wife and kids, especially, or from my job, and obviously pay the bills, because you got to have the roof over your head and power on to be able to do stuff like this. Without taking away from any of those moments and responsibilities, the fact that I don't dedicate, or I haven't found my time to be able to dedicate more time getting back into drumming and brushing off some of the cobwebs and stuff that has gathered over the course of years where I haven't been doing this and performing anymore. Really get back up to the level of where I was and even surpass that. That would be something that I'm still building back towards with doing this channel. So it's kind of my progression of getting back into it, seeing me kind of dust off the cobwebs, and then continue that process of regaining some of what I had lost, and then learning new along the way as well. So again, another reason for the channel is to kind of document that journey and share with all of you, just so I kind of see more of the human side of it. Of excuse me, I'm not a machine. You know, there's some fabulous drummers out there that have the time and they've dedicated, you know, where they can do hours a day, day after day, week after week. You know, I'm a father. I'm a husband. You know, I've got a career. You know, there's only so much time in the day that you can do things, and again, this comes back to when I have available time and I'm not taking time away from the family and those other aspects. I do what I can here, and again, try to rediscover what I once had, and even try to get to the next level, the next step up above that, and just kind of push myself even further musically. You know, and I guess get to the point where I take the training wheels back off again, because it is like riding a bike. But there's certain aspects that after so many years, especially really diving so far into it, you've got to retrain some stuff on your body, you know, or in your mind mentally, because it's been so many years of separation on certain things. So there's definitely a lot to it, but continue staying with the channel, and you'll see the progression as I go along and post these different videos and show, again, more of the human side of, they're not perfect, but, you know, I try to go for really good and definitely entertaining for you guys. So I'm hoping that I'm keeping with that, and, you know, we'll see what happens in the future with this channel and keep going from there. Thank you for the question. All right, looks like I got time for one more question on here. I got quite a few questions, so I'm going to end up making this a two-part. I'm going to tell you that right now. Next question is, who were some of your influences? One of the big guys I've already mentioned, Neil Peart from Rush, back here up on the wall, the professor. He was the first concert, or not he, Rush was the first concert that I was taken to, again, by my older brother. And so he's definitely one of the top three of all time for me, you know, and again, it's just what I grew up on and what really hooked me into loving drumming. Other definite mentions are going to be Todd Suckerman of Styx. Had a master class with him back in December of last year. Guy was very, very personable with everybody. Just a very talented individual, a straight shooter. Definitely gave some tips on helping with technique. And again, as I'm getting back into this, it was one of those things where it kind of gave me new tools for my toolbox to be able to pull off and use and develop and add into my showing on some of these videos. So there's definitely, again, going back to things that I'm developing and I want to be able to show off. I don't want to say show off, that sounds wrong. That I want to be able to show how to do in some of these videos in the future. Still things that I'm working on. So definitely picked up a lot of stuff from him. A couple other nice mentionable names. Mike Portnoy, Dream Theater. Met him a couple times. The guy is just a beast behind the drum kit. Absolutely love Dream Theater music, and glad to see that he is back with Dream Theater yet again. Let's see, other favorable mentions, Scott Rockenfield of Queensryche, another huge influence for me. Guy is rock solid, but he's very intricate at just the right moments on songs, you know, and some very unique things that you think you got the basic of the song down, and then as you listen closer, you're like, oh no, he's doing this, or he's doing that, or he's adding this, or you think he's adding this and he's not, he's actually taking things away. So he definitely piques the curiosity with how he approaches drumming and providing that sound stage for music to develop behind or develop with. And I know I've got plenty of other drummers that I could sit here and list for the next 20 hours if need be. But I tell you what, we're going to continue with questions on part 2, so stay tuned. Thank you.